Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we have something really cool to look at. It's the Jurassic Park Transformers collaboration. I've tried to incorporate Transformers on the channel before, did it with a couple of the Kingdom figures, but man, this Jurassic Park set is right up this channel's alley. For those of you that know me, you know that I am a huge Transformers fan. Probably a little bit more than I like Dinosaurs, so I was really excited when this set was announced. We all knew this set was coming when Kingdom Megatron was announced, and it was just rumors after rumors, and then finally it was revealed. It's a Amazon exclusive, and it got delayed a little bit, but it's finally here, and this set looks absolutely gorgeous. Love the box this thing comes in. It's kind of a pricey set. It retails for just over $100, and it is an Amazon exclusive. I think it's sold out on Amazon right now, but I'll still leave the link down below just in case it comes back into stock if you missed out on this. I've heard a few people complain about Hasbro getting another crack at the Jurassic license, and how could Universal let them touch it again after what they did with the Jurassic World line. Well, I got a hint for you. It's because money. I'm really enjoying these Transformer collaborations. I actually picked up the Back to the Future Gigawatt. And the only thing that really disappoints me about this Jurassic Park collab is that there is no tie-in comic. And I'm kind of disappointed about that because I think that would have been a really fun adventure to read through. So let's just go over the package really quick before we crack these figures open. You got the Jurassic Park Transformers collaboration logo up here in the corner. Jurassic Park logo down here. Tyrannocon Rex is a Decepticon and is front and center in the package as Rexy from Jurassic Park. And she is roaring at Autobot JP93. And I just really love the box art on here. I'm going to take the camera off the tripod in a second to show you all the fun stuff inside. But let's look at the top of the box. You got the Jurassic Park logo and the torches on the gate. Turn it to the side. You got a picture of the sign on the electric fence along with another Jurassic Park logo. And then turn around to the back, you got a nice footprint full of water. And then we have a little bit of a story of this set. Tyrannocon Rex is loose. Repeat, Tyrannocon Rex is loose. Do not panic. Autobot JP93 has been dispatched and is equipped to handle the situation with state-of-the-art GPS tracking systems and all-wheel drive. For traversing bumpy jungle terrain, JP93 will track down the asset out of containment and return her to her paddock promptly. If you see Tyrannocon Rex, do not approach her. Please call Jurassic Park security when you are safely out of range. So that's a neat little story for this set. So let's pop the camera off and take a look at all the fun stuff going inside this packaging. You got Tyrannocon Rex stepping on a cardboard cutout of a smashed Ford Explorer. In the back over here, you have the smashed paddock fences from the first movie. And down over here, we do have JP93. This is absolutely beautiful packaging, and I hate to take it out, but you know, I gotta open up my Transformer figures and play with them, so that's what we're gonna do. Alright, let's start with this 360-degree view of this set. Love how this turned out. I think this is one of the best collaborations that Hasbro has done yet. They've been doing a pretty good job with them, but this one I think is definitely one of the higher ranked ones. Love how JP93 turned out. It is a very screen accurate version of how the Ford Explorer appeared in Jurassic Park. It's also a fully licensed Ford vehicle. Just love how that bright green and yellow just pop on it. You get all that red striping. The Jurassic Park logo is endlessly applied. It's a very well painted figure. And Tyrannocon Rex, you know, it's just a straight up repaint of Kingdom Megatron, but the paint apps are really well done on Tyrannocon. Very accurate, you know, JP Rexy paint scheme all over the body. It's actually like a glossy paint. It almost looks like the figure is wet, and you know, since the box art is when the T-Rex broke out of the paddock, it was raining out. I think that's kind of a fitting paint app for it. So yeah, pretty cool looking set, and it's really fun to play with. The transformation are pretty straightforward. You know, if you have Kingdom Megatron, you know exactly what you're getting into. With Tyrannocon Rex and JP93 is a pretty simple transformation. So let's get these guys off the turntable and take a closer look. So let's first take a look at JP93 in the Ford Explorer mode. Wonderfully painted figure. Like I said, it's very movie accurate. You got the Jurassic Park logo across the doors. You have all that red striping across the hood and along the roof. You got the Jurassic Park logo right on the hood. A little bit of a mismatch of green right here because this whole, you know, windshield arrangement is clear plastic, so this was painted and this is molded plastic. But they got it pretty much color match. On camera, it's showing up a little bit more noticeable, but in person, it blends in pretty well. Tires have the yellow trim. You have all the yellow trim along the bottom of the vehicle. Transitions nicely into that bright green. Like I said, the windows are tinted, so it hides all the robot parts inside. You got the number 4 alongside the vehicle. The headlights are painted in red on both sides. You do have the rear view mirrors. Let's get the camera to focus in on that. Are painted in black, and you do have the searchlight on the front of the vehicle decked out in silver paint. There's some nice bumpers right here with the headlights and blinkers painted in. And then turn the vehicle over, you can see some of the robot parts underneath. You know, the wheels work pretty well on here. You got a nice rolly Ford Explorer, and you do come with a weapon with JP93. It is, let's get him out of the way, it is pretty much a exact replica of the shotgun that Robert Muldoon used. I forget the exact name of that shotgun, but you can see the collapsible stock is sculpted in, and there is weapon storage underneath the vehicle. There's a tab right here, and there is a tab on the gun, and all you need to do is just push it in, and you have some weapon storage. For comparisons, here it is with Mattel's Ford Explorer. You can see that the Mattel one absolutely dwarfs this one, and I actually like how Hasbro's attempt at the Explorer came out versus Mattel. I still love this vehicle, but I think the paint apps and the colors are much more accurate on this than what Mattel did. And next up, here it is with Earthrise Optimus Prime. And here it is with Siege Hound. I guess someday when Hasbro decides to do an Earth mode Hound, hopefully that happens during Legacy. I'd like to see Hasbro attempt another collaboration and turn Hound into the Jurassic Park Jeep. And you know what? While we're at it, repaint Dinobot into a more screen-accurate Velociraptor. And there you go. You have another collaboration set. Now, for transformation, it's a pretty simple transformation on JP93. All you need to do is unclip the doors on both sides, turn the figure over, and pull out his arms. And then once you do that, you just need to rotate the wheels inward. And then going down to the hood, this whole assembly is clear plastic, so just be careful when you're untabbing everything. And once that is untabbed, you can just unfold the legs. And then for the legs, you just split them apart. And then these, the top of the roof, will flip down to form his feet. Now, this whole piece right here is clear plastic, and it is on a clear plastic hinge, so be really careful when you're getting that into place. There's a little bit of resistance right here, and I really don't like that because I don't want to put undue stress on this because it is clear plastic. It has gotten a lot easier since I've transformed it a few times, but the first time I was doing it, it was a lot of resistance, and it made me very nervous. And just repeat it for the other foot, and then when you're over here, you can just flip his hood down. This part of the hood will open up to let his head pop through, and just push it down, and then put his arms down, and then coming around to the back, you just get the hood right here, and this tab will clip in to his back, forming the backpack. And then for his hands, you just need to pop out his fist on both sides, and we are done. And here is JP93 in all its glory. I really love the Robert Muldoon Game Warden look that they gave this figure. He even has the hat on it. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it's not, it's an easy transformation. It's got a little bit of a backpack, but, most Transformers do. A little bit gappy in the back of the feet. And if you look at him from, underneath, you can see right on through to the windshield. Kind of wish there was, a piece that flipped down and fill in his torso a little bit. But all in all, he is a really cool-looking figure. And let's pull in JP93 a little closer and look at some of the finer details. I still love that Game Warden hat that they gave him. The face is picked out with some gray paint highlighted by green plastic. The eyes are painted in black, and then when you look around over here, it looks like that was supposed to be light piping, but that is painted over. I've tried shining a light through it, and nothing comes through. And you can see, the whole torso is just, the front of the Ford Explorer. You got the Jurassic Park logo right here, highlighted by all those yellow stripes, and then going down, you can see a better look. The grill, little gappy chest, and then going down to the legs, you get all that green plastic, hollow inside thighs, but that's pretty common, for most of the figures that we've gotten in the War for Cybertron trilogy. And then going down to his legs, he really doesn't have feet. It's just like the whole back of the car. Like, all you're really doing is just flipping those top parts just to, form the feet. You don't even have to flip them in. You can leave them up, and the figure will stand exactly the same. You can see it's Ford Explorer number 4. That's the one Lex and Tim were riding that the T-Rex absolutely destroy. The arms are done in black plastic. He got his door wings. And yeah, that's pretty much it for him. So let's just go over articulation quick on this figure. Head can rotate. A little bit of a ball joint, can look up a little bit, down a little bit. Arms can swing up. They can rotate almost 360 degrees if you move the door out of the way. The elbow is on a ball joint, which is kind of reminds me of like, some of the older, Power of the Prime stuff. Kind of wish they went with more of the engineering from the War for Cybertron trilogy. But you can get, 360 degree of movement and about just over 90 degrees of bend. The wrists do not rotate because they just flip out. And then for the front part, you get no waist rotation, which is kind of a shame. Wish it had that. They could probably add that joint right there. For the legs, you can kick forward. You can kick back that far. You get well over 90 degrees of bend at the leg, and you do have ankle tiltage. So that will cover it for JP93, other than let's just give him his gun really quick, and I'm just going to do a couple more comparisons. We are not done with this guy yet. And for comparisons, here is JP93 with Mattel's Robert Muldoon if he wants to stand. You can see the similarities between the two figures with the Game Warden hat and the shotgun. Kind of funny how, Mattel can give, Hasbro can give this figure the Muldoon shotgun, but, Mattel won't give it to Muldoon in their Amber Collection line. And here is Earthrise Optimus Prime. And lastly, here it is with Siege Hound. And now let's take a look at Tyrannocon Rex. And like I said, this is a straight up repaint of Kingdom Megatron, but Hasbro did a fantastic job giving this a very accurate looking JP T-Rex color scheme on it. It's covered in all this glossy paint. Has a real shine to it, especially under the studio lights. And I think it turned out really, really great. Looking at the back right here, it's all dark brown with darker brown striping that starts at the back of the head that goes all the way down to the tip of the tail. And you have a little bit of shading along the thighs. The forearms have some more of that dark brown shading. And they actually painted in the hand claws on here. The other two releases of this mold, Megatron and T-Rex, they did not paint the hand claws. So it's nice to see that they added more paint apps to this figure. On the underside, you have a nice cream coat for the underbelly, and then going down to his toe claws, those are cast in a black plastic, which is pretty much the bottom of the feet, and the bottom of those feet actually do have some pretty nice detail on it, and even you have some nice details for the stomach scales, some folds and wrinkles on the neck. And I just kind of love how goofy the head is on this figure. Let's get my studio light on here a little bit better. You can see the eye is yellow with a black pupil, a lot of shading on the eye, and then opening the mouth up that can open up pretty wide. You can see the teeth are nicely painted, some dark gum tissue, some nice glossy texturing on the tongue, and the roof of the mouth, it has some nice details, but it is cast in black. And there is a port right here if you want to plug into any of the blast effects, and you get more look of all that nice paint apps on this figure. I really love this mold. A little fragile when you get around the hip region when you're transforming it, but I do like, the rubberized material that they used on this figure, and that's why I bought all the Megatron molds, because I really, obviously it's a dinosaur channel, love dinosaurs, but, give me a T-Rex that turns into a robot, and I will keep buying them. So this figure does have some articulation. Like we said, we can open them out pretty wide. You can swing the head side to side. It can look up a little bit, and it can look down. And, it's all controlled by these spring-loaded panels that keep everything kind of flush. The arms can move forwards, can move backwards. They're on a ball joint. They can swing out just a little bit. Hind legs can move backwards and forwards, and you do have a bend at the knee. When you do that, you start to break up the sculpt a little bit, and then you do have a joint at the ankle. And for the tail can move side to side, and you have more side to side movement at the end of the tail. So that covers it for articulation. Let's move on to transformation. But before we move on to transformation, let's just do a couple of quick comparisons. Here it is next to Kingdom Optimus Primal. And next up, here it is with Kingdom Dinobot. They do another collaboration. All you really need to do is just change the paint apps on Dinobot and maybe give him a new robot head sculpt, and boom, you have another collaboration set. And here it is with Kingdom Megatron, and here it is with T-Rex. Let's get these guys all into frame a little bit better, and there we go. All three T-Rex molds, and they all look really, really cool next to each other. I don't mind that I bought this mold 3 times over. I just really enjoy it. It's a fun figure to play with. And lastly, here it is with Mattel's Extreme Chompin' T-Rex, and I have to give it to Hasbro. They really did a much better paint job on this figure than any of the Mattel Rexes, and given Hasbro's history with the Jurassic license, it's nice when they actually put effort into something that really shows a big difference. And one cool thing you can do is, if when you take this insert out of the box, it is very collector friendly. You can actually just cut out all that plastic packaging that's holding the figures in. It all, once you take all the tape off, it all slides out through the front of the box, and you have a nice little diorama display. And I love this little cardboard crushed Ford Explorer. So yeah, another display option if you choose to do it. So for transformation, you just want to pop up his hip covers on both sides, and then you want to start unclipping his backpack. There's 2 tabs right here, so just pop those up over his leg region, and then you can swing this part of the backpack up, and then go underneath and split her chest open, and that will cause these spring-loaded ones to fold in. You can just kind of work them around. They are made mostly of rubber, and you can fold in those panels, swing, coming back around to the backpack, swing the arms in, and then fold up that neck plate, and that is pretty much it for the backpack. Now going around to the back of the figure right here, you want to unclip his hips from the side of his torso, and once you do that, you can get the legs out of the way, and then rotate his chest up and down, and then just clip it right into here. So now you are done with his chest. Now for the legs, you just want to pop out this part right here and then swing it in. I give all the credit in the world to all these Transformer review channels that do this pretty much daily, reviewing figures. It is not fun transforming figures on camera, and you just want to repeat it for the other side. Push it in, and then collapse the crotch together, and then pop out this hip reach right here. You get his little hip blasters into place. Like I said, this is exactly the same transformation as Kingdom Megatron. And then just flip his head up from the back. And I have some issues with the head, which I will get to momentarily. And I just got to clean up his backpack just a little bit. I think I might have messed something up on that part. Then going down to the tail, flip these panels up. You can, tuck your finger, push these corners right here because it is rubber, and they will curl and warp if you aren't mindful of them. And then go to the other side, same thing, just unclip the side panel right here and just work those little rubber corners in so they do not warp on you. Rotate the tip of the tail around, and then flip out. And then you have this arm done, and then rotate this down, and then you have almost done. Sorry, almost done. You just have to flip these hip panels down. Always be really careful with these. This is the part on Kingdom Megatron that always breaks. Just take your time with them, flip them down, and get this stupid head back into place. And I think we are done with Tyrannocon Rex transformation. Pretty cool looking robot mode. I like the red and black. It kind of reminds me of, like, you know, the old Dinobot toys, and, you know, pretty much the rest of the figure is just Kingdom Megatron, other than this new head sculpt. That's the only newly sculpted part on this figure. So let's pull Tyrannocon in a little closer and take a look at that head sculpt. Very kind of reminds me of like a Grimlocky head sculpt. It's all cast in black with those bright red visor. And the one thing I don't like about the head is it is on a ball joint, so you just flip back. It doesn't want to stay facing forward. If you just touch it a little bit, it will snap up, and you can't really pose it too much on that ball joint. Yeah, you can turn it from side to side, but as soon as you want the figure to look up like just a tiny bit, it will snap back like that, and that is kind of annoying. Maybe if I pop it off that ball joint and maybe add some like super glue, add some more resistance, that might not happen. But yeah, a little annoying, but I do really like how the head sculpt turned out. Going down to the chest is cast in red plastic and highlighted by all this glossy black paint. And then going down to the arms, you can see the hands are cast in black plastic. The whole crotch area right here is painted in red paint. The thighs are cast in black plastic. You can see his hip shooters right here, and then the rest of his legs are just his T-Rex feet. Same thing for his arm. You got that T-Rex head for an arm, and you got his tail that turns into a claw to grab onto, you know, Poor Park guests and Maximals. And then turn the figure around. You know, he does have a lot of backpack, but really not much you can do with that. It's not a masterpiece figure. You can't have it be a piece of origami and keep folding into itself. So yeah, all in all, I really like how this figure turned out. She's pretty cool. Now for articulation, we already went over the head. It can turn side to side. It can look really far up, but nothing in between, because like I said, there's something up with that joint. Arms can move almost 360 degrees, as long as you just don't bump into that backpack. You have rotation at the bicep, and you get just about 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You know, mouth can still open up. That's the same articulation when it's in T-Rex mode. And then for the hand right here, this hand can move up and down, but no wrist rotation. You do get some waist rotation on this figure. For the legs, you can do the splits, can move forwards that far. Let's get that to focus in. And you get just over 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and the feet can move up, they can move down, and you do get a little bit of ankle tiltage on those ankle joints. And now for comparisons, here it is with Optimus Primal. And here it is with Dinobot. And lastly, here it is with Megatron and T-Rex. You can see how they all look in their robot modes next to each other. Megatron still looks the best out of all of them, with Tyrannocon Rex being a close second. I still like T-Rex, but they definitely needed to add some more paint apps on the gray plastic figure. Just looks kind of like unfinished the way they did it, but I'm happy with all three figures. You know, you can't beat robots and dinosaurs. It's just a perfect merger. So yeah, really digging these figures. So final thoughts on the set. I love it. It's a perfect union of dinosaurs and Transformers for me. I'm a huge fan of the Jurassic Park franchise, so this was an instant buy for me, and I think if you're a fan of the movies, this is pretty much a must-add to your collection. You know, my only real issues with the set is just the head on Tyrannocon. Just that joint is really funky, just with the head keep flipping up. I really like JP93. You know, just be careful with it, because a lot of it is made out of transparent plastic. You don't want to snap anything, because you will not be getting replacement, because these collaborative sets are limited edition. And, you know, speaking of it being a collaboration set, the price is a little bit high. It's like around $110. You know, this is a leader class figure that retails for $50, and this is a deluxe that retails for around 20. So, you know, it's $70 worth of figures, and, you know, you're getting charged $40 more because they're using the Jurassic Park license. But if, you know, if you can get past the price point, it is a really cool set, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. Now, unfortunately, it is currently sold out on Amazon. It was an Amazon exclusive. I still have the link down below in the description just in case they get any more in. They're probably not, but good news is Hasbro Plus, I think sometime in December, they're going to have a very limited amount of these for sale on their site. So definitely check on Hasbro Pulse. It's not Plus. Did I say Plus earlier? Whatever. Hasbro Pulse, and see if they have any available in December. They said they're going to have a limited quantity. Because once this is sold out, the price on this is just going to climb and climb. And you're going to get stuck paying secondary prices for this if you miss out. So that would do it for the review. Yeah, I know I'm not the best at reviewing Transformers on the channel. It's kind of really tough to transform and, you know, keep everything into the camera. So I apologize for my crappy camera work. And, you know, if they do any more Dinosaur Transformer toys, I'll try to, you know, work them in here and there on the channel. Right now, I'm pretty much caught up with, you know, dinosaur reviews. I do have one more early review of a Beast of the Mesozoic figure, but it's not coming until later next week. So be on the lookout for that review. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously, and it's greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.